Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
iPhone papa ye wo homa
so open iPhones accessories papa dia menhwe baby a
me mo akwa ba EBA phones and accessories
Sabani EBA yeton iPhones any ho accessories iPhone 50 XL cost 16 Pro Max accessories ye wo charger AirPods any iPhone ho akade nyina nianoma ye ni sikapudu e de beto iPhone say ya ankrankre boja and na say aboye juma your phone nyina for 40% beji iPhone bia ope na ni aka no wo de bosome miensa etua ne nkakra e kwan ya obefa so de achi enyi dial *713*5571#. Oba, shenu so se wode wo Ghana card ene nia ye kire se wo ye adwuma hwehwe ye kire kwan e wo circle mo ene tip tolling ye ni modern photos enche ho a afenso se wo ba American Mall ye ni odo rice ene di nhwani kuma senso ye wo edum Central Prisons roundabout ajekum abonsan ni mo freyen e wo numbers na ebu screen ni so no EBA phones no hassle cry.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Think in publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit's toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit's. Happy smile.
Welcome to Rehoboth Properties gated community. Nestled between the vibrant city of Accra and the breathtaking Ebri Mountains lies a serene gated community. Here, you'll find litigation-free, fully serviced demarcated plots to build your dream house in a gated community surrounded by lush greenery and the calming beauty of nature. perfect canvas for your dream home you want to build. With well-tarred roads, a reliable drainage system, electricity and water, fully serviced plots are ready for your vision. Enjoy exclusive amenities like a swimming pool, tennis and basketball courts, all within the comfort of your community. Start your mornings with peaceful walks or energizing jogs under the shade of palm trees and stunning views of the Peduase Ebri Mountains and city skyline. Starting from 450,000 Ghana cedis and a flexible payment plan, visit www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com to make inquiries. Call or WhatsApp us on 020-682-3524, 055-375-1933, or 024-476-4499. Rehoboth Properties. Quality housing for all.
I'm here at MycomJA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At MycomJA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit MycomJA Limited today and elevate your tech.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action.
Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Friendly sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Come tum preko.
We brought you the first two conferences, which were awesome. Great leadership ideas shared. On popular request, the third in the series of Women in Strategic Leadership Conference, put together by ASWAM and Tarragon, comes off on September 24 to 27 at the Plash Camp Chache Resort. Adam, come, engage with astute women with great leadership ideas and skills on the conference theme, Women at the Helm, Driving Strategic Change. On the bill for this special conference are outstanding women such as Genevieve Pearl Duncan Obobi, banker, trainer, SME consultant, speaker and author, Miss AC Mills Robertson, Director of Inclusive Banking at Fidelity Bank Ghana, and Mrs. Augustina Atkinson Dadebo, Counseling Psychologist and Assistant Registrar, UPSA. Do call 059-205-2286 or 024-403-5731. Come and let's advance women in leadership while creating a supportive community as well as empower women in leadership.
Wezalo Amarab. Yes.
Ghana Tourism Authority welcomes you to the 2025 African Marketing and Technology Conference.
From digital storytelling to destination marketing, welcome to Ghana, the gateway to Africa.
Come here and build high-valued network. And of course, you build this network with great industry leaders.
We can't wait to host you. From our immersive cultural experiences to the plethora of our sun, our beaches, our gastronomy. Woo!
We are asking all of you to come network at this beautiful event. Events that will actually teach you the real value of marketing to tourism.
Yes, the Aquaba Night. Come and experience our rich heritage. Come and dance to the beat and rhythm of our music and culture. This is Ghana Tourism Authority.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Good Evening Ghana. Thank you very much for your time. We're still a nation in mourning, and thankfully 2 of the compatriots who lost their lives tragically last Wednesday have now been laid to eternal rest under the auspices of the government of Ghana, led by John Dramani Mahama, and the leadership of the Muslim community all over the country. The 2 were laid to rest. We have reports from that event for you, both of them Alhajis. Today, President John Dramani Mahama met with the families of the compatriots departed from the military side, and they are thinking about the state's funeral. Tonight, our job is to take you back to what has happened and bring you more information on what we are receiving. We will take you back to some of the photographs from the big events that occurred, the night of commemoration, the funeral. We have a very good video that has been put together by journalists, and I get excited all the time when journalists are doing their work. The defense media team, the defense reporters, the corp, have put together a video that tells a great story about their former boss, Dr. Omane Boama. And the video goes all the way. I'm sure many people have seen it, and it's been gone very viral on social media. And I'm happy that they put it together without just getting the video to pass from one person to the other. They put it together with the voiceover behind. They really show truly that they are journalists, and they are the defense reporters. And they put a video together. We'll be showing it to you. It's very touching and very poignant. We'll show that to you. We'll bring you back photographs of John Agyekum Kufuor's visits to the President John Dramani Mahama, so as Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia as well. And also one very trending photograph of Kwabena Duboahin visiting Omane Boama, who at some point could have been his former boss in the 2015-16 when Omane Boama was Minister for Communication. Duboahin worked closely with the intelligence and communication apparatus before the National Signals Bureau was set up. And Duboahin was there as well. Also, we have some politics tonight. We are hearing that there has been changes at the Ghana School of Law in terms of the directorship. The General Legal Council has indicated changes to the directorship, and we have a big name of who is going to become the Director for Legal Education. Tonight, we share that with you as well. Very, very interesting story coming from there. And then also the big announcement by the New Patriotic Party, the opposition, that in view of what has happened, they are unable to participate in the Tamale Central potential by-election that is to come up. We understand that the famous pollster, Musa Dankwa, was upset with it. We called him. He was going to come to talk to us, but he had other engagements, so he can't make it today. Musa Dankwa was originally, he said we should check with him at 2 o'clock today, but he couldn't make it. Hopefully he'll make it on Thursday and he'll tell us what it means. But he had received a bit of bashing on the social media from NPP people when he sort of made posts that disagreed with the reasons why the MPP was not contesting the Tamale by-election. Here in Good Evening Ghana, we carried out an editorial last week where we said that it would be useful for the MPP to withdraw from that by-election. And we said so because we knew that in the period of mourning, as it is right now, the NDC cannot campaign in the Eastern region. Dr. Omane Boama is a stalwart of the NDC from the Eastern region. It would be very difficult whilst he's not been laid to rest to have the NDC campaigning. And we talked about how the MPP should not take advantage of that. And so they should just leave it and also decide to withdraw from the elections in Tamale. I had seen a social media post by the leader of the Constitution Review team, Dr. Akwesi Prempeh, who said that within the first 2 years of a parliament's life, if there is a death occurring somewhere, there should be no by-election. The party that had the seat should just replace the person who died. They can go through an internal primaries and do so, but the political contest within the first 2 years of a party losing a parliamentary candidate, he thought was unhealthy. Perhaps we can explore that a bit more when we talk to the constitutionalist. Tonight also, we'd like to focus on one important aspect of this whole unfortunate helicopter crash. The psychology, the clinical psychology aspect. No one is talking about that. No one is talking about what should have been the mode of the information. Who gave the information to the president? Who was the first person outside those who were in the helicopter to know that there had been a helicopter crash? How did he handle the information? Who did he speak to? Which person in government did he speak to? What kind of protocol should govern these things? These are people who are very important to the president. How did they communicate it to the president? What happened? Idrisu Haruna, the Minister for Education, told us on the day that it happened that the president was not in a good state of mind at all. How did these things happen? Then from the president to the families. And then for us in the media, what coverage should we do? What questions should we ask? People have been berating media people for putting microphones in the faces of bereaved wives and asking them, how do you feel? People have been outraged by all kinds of things. The clinical psychology part is completely missing from the whole conversation. We have been monitoring the media yesterday. It was all about the crash. I watched the Joy FM PM Express program. I watched the Point of View program where it was about eulogies on former NUC's executive of Kujeto Blackwell. That was very good. And then I saw the Joy FM program on PM Express where there was a big argument between Bright Simmons and squadron leader, the respected squadron leader, Sobojo. And it's all about the plane crash. What about the human beings, those who have been heavily affected? We have seen some people give statements that they probably shouldn't give, but it's all part of the pain and the recovery and all of that. We have an editorial on that, and we have a big interview with a clinical psychologist to tell us what we should be doing. That's really our main focus for tonight. And then, in the end, we talk about the politics, the law school issue, and the by-election issue. So, this is Good Evening, Ghana. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much for your time. It's now 22 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Sorry, we're still in morning, so I have to appear this way on a Thursday. May I now, with your permission, go over to the touchscreen and begin the rollout of our show tonight? Oh my goodness, it's not easy to see these photographs here. When you come to the touchscreen and the first photograph you see is that, yes, I know that's what I'm discussing, but you know, it's very complicated. It gets very, very complicated when you have to do these things this way. We are really, really sorry about that. For some people, they are beginning to, it's now affecting them. For some people, no one is able to recover from something like this. It's really, really difficult to recover from something like this. Okay, so let's get onto the touchscreen, and we are beginning with some of the photographs. Some of the photographs of the events. This is the, oh my goodness, I can see Mutala and Dr. Mani Boama in there. This is people who were reading from the for the 9th of commemoration. Squadron leader Peter Nana. These are people who were reading tributes. We saw all of these on television, didn't we? These are families and people who knew them very well. This is the Ashanti Regional Minister, of course, is an unforgettable image. I saw a video of the Ashanti Regional Minister, and I kind of felt sorry for him. He was trying to explain something, and that's part of the reason why we think that the clinical psychology is very, very important. The Ashanti Regional Minister has been so affected that I don't think he should speak anymore. He shouldn't speak. I mean, put yourself, all things being equal, put yourself in a situation. The Ashanti Regional Minister, he's sitting at an event, waiting for Defense Minister, Environment Minister, National Security Coordinator, and First Vice Chairman, who is former Ashanti Regional Minister of the party during the first John Mahama term, and Samuel Abuaje, who is his buddy, his friend. They work on the campaign together. He's sitting there waiting for them. They are coming in a helicopter. And then the next is, they are not coming anymore. I mean, this Ashanti Regional Minister should have psychologists by his side. They should surround him. And they shouldn't be talking. I saw him doing a live Facebook video. I said, my goodness, this is not good for Dr. Mwakoyini. He should stop talking. All the people around him should send him to a doctor and then calm him down. By the funeral time, he'll be able to read a great tribute. But he can't be talking. He was in the forest and he just shouldn't talk. Not just him, but the other people. I mean, imagine yourself standing there and knowing that you were going to be on the flight. It doesn't mean that if other people on the flight would have crashed. It doesn't. We all don't know. It matters beyond our knowledge. We don't know whether if X was on, it will crash. Maybe X was on, it won't crash. Maybe Y. We don't know. We just don't know. So, a person who was built to be on that plane, that person is going through something that we can all not imagine, that he should not be talking. He should have clinical psychologists with him. I mean, in this country, two things we don't take serious is mental health and clinical psychology. It's so important. And so we are all going around. They say that, oh, everybody has some madness. Yes. We the work we do every day is madness. We understand it. But those things are critical if it's other developed countries, and we have clinical psychologists over here. Look at the forensic people. When the thing first happened, nobody called them. And then they are issuing statements about forensic things, that the way they went into the forest was wrong, blah, 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 blah. We don't need all that. So we are dedicating tonight's program to have a clinical psychologist in the studio. She's already here. She's going to tell us, we shouldn't have told the president this. Dr. Makohine shouldn't have done this. Muntaka should have been protected from talking. This, that. We need that. We definitely need that. And then we have a plural media that is also broadcasting and competing with one another to broadcast the story first. And that's why I'm very excited about the defense press corps and what they put together. They were not in a hurry. They sat down, put it together, and when they released it, it was gratifying to our hearts, even in the grief, that they had put together a very good document. And we're going to show that to you tonight. So I beg, those who know Dr. Frank Amakohene, he should get a clinical psychologist with him. And he should be stabilized in that way. He doesn't know there's something wrong with him. We all don't know this, but there's definitely something wrong with him. No human being can go through what he went through last Wednesday, less than a week, and be okay. You are sitting at an event. You saw him informing Kofi Boah. Apparently, the information he gave to Kofi Boah in that video was not about death. It was about the aircrafts in some trouble and it settled, something like that. So they were still hopeful that they will come. Nothing about death. And then you get to find out that the people you were waiting for at the event have left in this very, difficult situation. It's terrible. So he shouldn't be talking. And I really hope that he can get that information and people can help him. Dr. Frank Amakohene. This is Fifi Kwete. And Fifi Kwete hasn't spoken. And I'm sure that he's also going through a whole lot. But he hasn't spoken. For them, the National Executive Committee of the NDC, the functional executive, apparently they had a meeting on Tuesday evening. And the people in the plane were there. Omane Boama was there. I don't know whether Mutala was there, but the vice chairman of the party would naturally be there. So Tuesday evening, this is the NDC leadership, Otokuno, Fifi Kwete and others. On Tuesday evening, you sit with them as the functional executive. You are talking about your party stuff. Some of them may know that tomorrow there's Kumasi and all of that, blah, blah, blah. And then Wednesday morning, midday, 1 o'clock, you hear that the people that you were sitting in a meeting with went on the plane and this is what has happened. I mean, so you can understand that people like this, they shouldn't be granting interviews. They're talking. They can't. They really can't. So we really need to look at that. And these are some of the people who all came over there. I can see the chief of staff seated on the dais. The chief of staff put up a real majestic announcement. And the way he did it, President Mahama also spoke at the event. Informal speaking they can do. But throwing microphone into their face and asking them to talk is quite frightening. These are some of the mourners. Everyone is shocked. It's not about, people are really, 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 really shocked. And this is very, 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 very interesting. That is the MPP group, I believe. The Dominic Nitiwul, who has also said something like it could have been him. Even Nitiwul, who has left the position since January, he will feel a sense of, this thing could have been any of us. And that's what he said, that it could have been him. He was defense minister. I'm sure he used that helicopter many, many times. Could have been anyone. So the shock that people are going through, Henry Korte, former MP and former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Kojo Oponkroma, former Minister for the Works and Housing, and Alhaji Sinari of the NDC, who has just recently been made an ambassador. This matter is John Ajekum Kufuor himself, the former president, a very distinguished Ghanaian, President Mahama in a handshake over there with Alban Bagbin. You can see from Alban Bagbin's face, and we have something on Bagbin tonight. He put out a video, or a video was made of him, and so we're going to talk about it. It's very, very interesting. Let's see a video now that was produced. And I've already told you, we have a clinical psychologist in the studio. We're going to be talking to him. This is Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia visiting President Mahama, I believe, in the president's home. This is Dr. Bawumia in an embrace with First Lady Lordina Mahama. This is a briefing. Dr. Bawumia and his team. You can see the unmistakable figure of Adjo Asafo, former member of parliament. You can see Mohamed Amin Anta, former Minister for Finance, Dominic Nitiwul, who is the former Defense Minister. I believe Kojo Ponkroma is in there, and Henry Korte, all at President Mahama's living room to have exchanges and to commiserate with him. Here's President Mahama and Dr. Bawumia again in the same meeting. They took photographs outside President Mahama's place. You see here the entire squad. Let me try and name all of them. From left to right on the first row is Julius Deborah, Chief of Staff, Lordina Mahama, First Lady, Mahamadou Bawumia, former Vice President, John Dramani Mahama, President of Ghana, Dominic Nitiwul, former Minister for Defense, Henry Korte, former Minister for the Interior, Mohamed Amin Anta, former Minister for Finance. The second row is Al-Hassan Tampuli, Member of Parliament, and former Deputy Minister for Transport. I believe this is a Mampong MP. He was a former Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. He's a Member of Parliament for the Mampong constituency. His name skips me to come back very soon. Nana Akomia, the unmistakable figure of Nana Akomia. I can see Sam Nati George in there. I believe Kozi Menu is there. I can see Kojo Ponkroma, Shamima Muslim, Antonia Bey Fakabu, Obobia Dako Poku. The rest, their names are not coming readily to me. But this was a very impressive Ghanaian event showing the humanity of Ghanaians. The opposition goes to... They will fight later on. After everything is done, the opposition and the government, they will start fighting on social media again. But this is not a time for fighting. This is a time to come together as a collective and then mourn the departed. Here we go. Oh, my goodness. This photograph has been terrible. This is Mrs. Omani Boama. This photograph has gone viral. Everyone is talking about it. So that must be the Omani Boama family, I guess. With Dr. Bawumia exchanging pleasantries. Kojo Ponkroma addressing them. Kojo Ponkroma knows Omani Boama from Pope John Secondary School. This is former Vice President Mahamadou Bawumia, Dominic Nitiwul, former Defense Minister, and the entire MPP group led by Bawumia, who went in there. And I also understand that Dr. Bawumia sent circulars to MPP communicators urging them that this was a period of national mourning and there was no need for political positioning and political gesturing. So it's a total mourning period. Dr. Bawumia addressing the group again. These are some of the chiefs and traditional leaders who were all there. All that was happening. Are we done with it? All that was happening last week. Kozi Menu, parliamentary candidate for the MPP for Adenta in the last election with Amin Anta over there. And Dr. Bawumia still shaking hands with people. Okay, so let's move on so we can get to the psychological discussions. Do you have President Kufuor's photos? Yes. John Ajekum Kufuor, the former president, also visited with President Mahama. And here is the Vice President, Professor Jenano Opoku, President Mahama, John Kufuor, and First Lady Lordina Mahama. All of them, same people in the photograph here again. President Kufuor has received this support. I can see Dr. Dubofor, President Kufuor's very special aide. I can see Alex Segbefia in there, and Julius Debra, and my friend Joyce Bauer also in there, and all of them with President Mahama as J.A. Kufuor arrived. Oh, okay. So that's the photographs of President Kufuor. Now, which one should we take first? Oh, yes, this was a photograph that also caused a lot of stir on social media. Kwabena Edubuahin, the former director of the National Signals Bureau, wrote his tributes to Dr. Omani Boama, whom he must have known very well, and I'm sure must have worked under Omani Boama as one of Omani's important people at the National Security and Communication Apparatus. And so Kwabena Edubuahin made his way to Dr. Omani Boama's home to sign the book of condolence, and a photograph was posted by TV3. And many people were making commentary about it on social media. We saw all that happening. Anyway, excellent work on the part of Kwabena Edubuahin. This is not the time at this stage to pretend that he doesn't know Dr. Omani Boama, that he didn't have a relationship with him. He definitely did, because they worked together, and I'm sure they had an excellent working relationship. So he went to his house to sign the book of condolence. I'm sure this will not be the first time he has been to Omani's house. I'm sure he's been there many, many times. So that was Kwabena Edubuahin as well. Also, what else do we have? Let's take the video from the journalist. Let's show you this 8-minute video that was brilliantly put together by the journalists who have been covering defense. I didn't know that they have a defense press corps. It was very, very interesting. I think that is growing. There should be defense press corps, journalists, attorney general, Ministry of Justice press corps. We should have all of that, and those journalists should be developed to understand what they are looking for. So the Ministry of Defense should have scholarships for journalists who are interested in covering defense. The Kofi Annan Institute trains these things. Ministry of Defense should pay for them, and those journalists who want to cover defense in a certain way, they should be trained. There is a master's program, they can train them. I was delighted to see that there's a press corps for defense coverage, and they put this documentary together. Have a look.
Modernization of the military is something that will be on the front burner.
Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boamah was nominated as Minister of Defense by President John Dramani Mahama on January 21, 2025.
There are people who innovate a lot. There are people who, when supported, they will be able to do more for us. And so we will put all the balls in the air and ensure that our army is strengthened to be able to aggressively and timeously face any external aggressors.
Facing the Parliamentary Appointments Committee with calm resolve and deep insight, he was unanimously approved on January 30. The very next day, immediately after the president's swearing in, Dr. Omane-Boamah reported to work, meeting with the entire staff of the Ministry of Defense.
For the period that I'll be your lead advocate, support you so we can support the president to ensure the defense of our country and within and also against external aggression.
On February 10, 2025, he embarked on his maiden official visit to the Ghana Army headquarters at Bema Camp. There, he engaged with military leadership and key personnel, signaling a firm commitment to understanding Ghana's defense infrastructure and the people who hold it together. Soon after, he held his first meeting with the members of the Defense Press Corps, seeking to understand their roles, challenges, and how best to collaborate for transparent, accurate defense reporting.
Let's try as much as possible to limit the invitation for the Ghana Armed Forces to step in and do things that the Ghana Police Service can do for us. If we did this, your work will be easier. You will not, Mr. President, be saying that I cannot go to this place or that place because I'm unable to take sites. We will get them into the zones where they must work very well. And we believe that if we all agree as a consortium of the willing, we will use Ghana Armed Forces more productively.
In just a few months, he visited nearly every major military installation in Accra, laying the groundwork for a nationwide regional tour to assess all defense infrastructure across the country.
country stand first, you don't got to. Hey, miss. We expect a very high degree of discipline and professionalism from the Ghana Armed Forces, and that we cannot compromise. And let me also repeat, this discipline also means not providing guard duties for individuals who are not permitted.
Despite his brief tenure, Dr. Omane Boama welcomed several international dignitaries and security partners, reinforcing Ghana's commitment to global peace, diplomacy and security. His final official tour took him to the Ghana Military Academy, where he engaged directly with cadets in training.
We are confident that you will definitely make it, you will definitely get there and become the officers that will make Ghana proud.
He later visited the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center and finally the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, where he expressed grave concern over missing military ammunition.
Ammunitions belonging to the Ghana Armed Forces that in our recent past have gotten into hands that are not authorized. I spoke about the 2024 transfer of ammunition from the Ghana Armed Forces to the then National Security without due consultation and authorization, which the present National Security Coordinator is seeing to that investigation. Just when I thought that was being addressed, we have uncovered another one. And in that case, theft of ammunition. And that was even before the 2024 transfer of ammunition from the Ghana Armed Forces to the National Security. I'm bringing these issues out there for us to know that the ammunition found in the hands of civilians may not just have come from the ingenuity of those civilians securing them, but may have come from complicity of people who are tasked with responsibility. And so the investigations are ongoing.
Dr. Omane Boama was known for his passionate speeches, full of energy, clarity and conviction. He was a tireless advocate for the welfare and dignity of Ghana's military personnel, drawing from a rich background in strategic negotiation and health policy. He introduced a people-centered leadership style to Ghana's defense sector. In just a few months, he exposed hidden legacy debts in the defense sector, initiated a recruitment plan for 12,000 new troops, proposed major welfare and housing improvements for service personnel, sought a €15 million security support package from EU partners. Then came that tragic morning. It was 8 a.m. on August 6, 2025, when Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boama arrived at the Air Force Base in Accra. He was en route to Obuasi for a mining policy engagement. Dressed in all white, the minister asked his bodyguards and the ministry's cameraman to stay behind. There wasn't enough space in the helicopter. With a signature smile, he shook hands with the crew and waved as the chopper took off. Little did he know, it would be his final wave to his staff, his country, to the world. From the staff of the Ministry of Defense, members of the Defense Press Corps, and the entire nation, we say farewell, Dr. Edward Kofi Omanebuama. You served your country. You led with vision and heart. You are forever in our hearts.
Very good work by the Defense Press Corps. I was having a conversation with someone recently about prophecies and politics and elections. And we're trying to understand when it became part of our election coverage and election narrative. So we threw our minds back, way back to, say, okay, 96, no, nothing like that. 2000, no, nothing like that. 2004, nothing like that. 2008 is when this prophecy started. This one will win and this one can win. It was the Akufo-Addo election of 2008 when he won the MPP primaries and some prophet said, I said it and I didn't, all of that. And then the phenomenon of politicians losing their lives when J.B. Dankwa died, some prophets came and said, I said it. And then you remember the Ebony Reigns. That was a big one. When Ebony died, the videos came out, some prophet said, I said it. So that has become part of our phenomenon. And how do we deal with it? This recent air crash has not escaped the eyes of prophets, prophecies, what to do about them, how it is said, how it's communicated. Is it biblical? Is it not biblical? Is it true? Is there anybody called prophet? Should we call anybody prophet? This and that. Prophets have been predicting who's going to win MPP primaries, who's going to win 2028. Prophets published who's going to win 2024 elections. Some of it came to pass, etc., etc. Now, prophet here is called Prophet Roger. And Prophet Roger, I hope this is Prophet Roger, by the way. I hope it is him, the photograph. Okay. Prophet Roger is reported to have made some prophetic declarations to the effect that this air crash was going to happen and that he had called on people to reach out to people and he didn't get any response, and then it happened. Okay. So he put that out, and there was quite a bit of outrage, some from within the Christian community itself. That this is not prophecy, this is sorcery, this is divination. They are lying, they are not prophets, this and that. Whilst all that conversation was going on, Elvis Efriye Ankara, who is now designated as a very long name, Presidential Envoy for Interfaith, Economical, something, he issued a statement. Out of that statement, many things have been generated. Let's read the statement he issued. It is from the Office of Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations, Office of the President, Jubilee House, Accra, 10th August 2025. And it's written to all economical heads, dear esteemed leaders in Christ. And it's as follows. Strengthening the spiritual partnership for national direction and healing. Greetings of peace and grace from the Office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations, on behalf of President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the Office of the Presidential Envoy, I extend heartfelt appreciation to you and your various denominations for your unwavering spiritual support, intercessory prayer, and sustained leadership in promoting peace, moral integrity, and national unity. Appropriate escalation. Oh, okay, I jumped something. It says, in the light of the tragic accident that occurred recently, which claimed lives and involved government officials, military personnel, and NDC party executives, we humbly request your intense prayers for 1. the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. 2, government and all state institutions. 3, the bereaved families and the entire nation of Ghana. May the Lord comfort the afflicted, guide our leaders, and continue to preserve our beloved country. We look forward to continued partnership and shared spiritual responsibility as we work together for peace and prosperity. Oh no, I missed the real part. Where's the real part? Okay. As part of strengthening national coordination on spiritual matters, especially in these times of uncertainty and complexity, we kindly encourage you to inform all prophets, men and women of God under your oversight, that any prophecy or spiritual insight of a national nature, especially those with implications for high-profile political leaders, governance, national security, or public stability, should be formally relayed to the office of the Presidential Envoy for urgent review and appropriate escalation. This is in the spirit of responsibility, discernment, and stewardship over the nation's destiny. So Elvis Ankara and his team put up a statement that, okay, if you have prophecy, come and tell us first. Many people interpreted it differently, whether it's a gagging order, whether it is a way to streamline the prophets. So there's a lot of conversation yesterday. I spoke to different kinds of people. In fact, I called up Reverend Usu Bempa and asked him what his views were on the matter. He said they are at some meetings, and he explained that from the explanation that they are getting is that it's not that you can't say it in your church. You can say it. It's not that you can't mention names. You can mention names. However, if you can't reach the person, then you reach the office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations and tell him that I am looking for Minister Paul Adomotri, who is Minister for XYZ, because I have prophecy and I called his number 02447 something something, and people said he has stopped using the number since he became a minister. And then every time it rings and he doesn't pick. Somebody also told me that he knows his mother's number, so I also called her, but I didn't reach her. And I have been calling him on that number, and I even sent text on some number somebody gave me. Another person said he knows his driver. I called the driver. He said he would tell him, but up till now, the driver hasn't gotten back to me. If you find yourself in that kind of situation, according to what Reverend Osubepa told me, it is only then that you go to Office of Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations and go and tell him that your minister, Paul Adomotri, I can't find him. So please find him for me. This is the explanation that Reverend Osubepa. And I shared with him that maybe the statement must sort of recalibrate and bring out that, because this was that. Okay. So just after the statement was issued, Kwesi Pratt Jr., I believe it was on Metro TV or somewhere, appeared, and this is the Kwesi Pratt Jr. says, have we now incorporated soothsaying into our governance apparatus? Asked Kwesi Pratt. This photograph is from Good Morning Ghana, and that was concerning, because people were wondering what's the meaning of this. Okay, that's the article. Is that the beginning of the article? Okay, the article says the managing director of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., has expressed great worry over the creation of an office at the Jubilee House called the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations. This follows a widely circulated press statement from the above stated office directed at all Christian leaders in Ghana to redirect all prophecies they have, especially about high-profile people or events, to it, quote, as part of strengthening national coordination on spiritual matters, unquote. But reacting to this on social media, the veteran journalist expressed shock at this news, wondering if this is some new kind of soothsaying. Describing the head of that office, Elvis Ankara, as his good friend, Pratt wrote, quote, Dr. Omane Boama hated flying in helicopters. This was his first since we came to power. I'm getting... Producer, are we okay? All right. He said, let's get on to the Kwesi Pratt story. He says, reacting on social media, okay, describing Kwesi Pratt wrote, okay, that, all right, let's go on. A few days ago, I got to know that my good friend Elvis Ankara has been given a brand new position, Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations. And the first question that popped into my brain, this Kwesi Pratt speaking, What is this? The biggest surprise was yet to come. The Ghanaian media reported that the Office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations has issued a significant directive urging religious leaders across Ghana to formally submit any prophecy or spiritual insight of national significance to its office for urgent review. What is happening? I'm completely lost, Kwesi Pratt says. Have we now incorporated soothsaying into our governance apparatus? Will important government decisions be based on what the oracles say? How is this different from the Hamlet's chief or headman, depending on the witch doctor for direction as to how to deal with problems of health, education, economy, and many more, he quizzed. The statement from the Office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations stated in part that any prophecy or spiritual insight of a national nature, especially those with implications for high-profile political leaders' governance, national security, or public stability, should be formally relayed to the Office of the Presidential Envoy for urgent review and for escalation. So, Kwesi Pratt was not alone. There are many other people who were worried about this statement, and there was also some defense mechanism from some pastors. And then there's another article here. The Prophecy Clearance House, now open for national business. This was written by somebody who was very upset about it. They said, in a move that will surely make the Guinness Book of Heavenly Records, the Office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Economical Relations has instructed all religious leaders to submit their prophecies for government review, effectively making Ghana the first country in the world with a Customs and Excise Division for spiritual imports. From now on, before you can tell your congregation that the president will be toppled by a coconut tree or whatever, you have to attach two passport photographs. Okay, the things he writes are not very formal, so we can't express them here. But he's making the point that you can't have a place where you are sort of looking at prophecies as part of a governance system, which is what Kwesi Pratt is also upset about. But Ghana is very religious. Ghana is very, very religious. And so the responses came from the pastors and they said, what is government talking about? We are doing our work. Now, if you look at the 1992 Constitution carefully, there is freedom of expression, there is freedom of religion in chapter 5. There's freedom of religion. Not just freedom of religion, but in the Constitution, I'll check and I'll read it out here to you. There is also freedom for the individual in the way in which the religion manifests itself. So if fetish worship is a religion for someone, they call it African traditional religion. If that fetish worship is a religion for someone, and as part of the fetish worship, young teenagers must dance half naked, and that is how the worship manifests, the 1992 Constitution guarantees the freedoms of those who express themselves through that religion or through that religious practice. The Constitution actually uses the word, the way it manifests. So if prophecy is one of the ways in which a person's religion manifests, that expression of prophecy is guaranteed by the provisions of the 1992 Constitution. That's very interesting. But just before we could go further, Speaker of Parliament came in and almost threw a spanner in the works of the statement. He said that he listens to prophecy. He knows that there are some prophets that are good, some prophets that are bad, but it's not all of them who are bad. And that we should be careful to dismiss prophecy. That we should listen because he has been listening and it has helped him. Here is the Right Honorable Alban Sumano Kingsford Bagbin. Have a look.
The reverends, we should listen to them. It's not all of them who are looking for money. Don't take what they say for granted. If they say act, act. I listen to all. I myself have been threatened many times. And I've listened to the prophecies. I don't take them sleeping. Because that's their area. I can't say somebody who is not in parliament would know parliamentary work more than me. And so I don't know about the spiritual world more than those who are taking it as a career. And so all these things work for good. We should not ignore them. Please, once again, let us, in this grieving, not forget about the power of the Almighty God. All works for our good. And we'll continue to thank Him for giving us these precious lives, for the service they render to us. And we pray that He finds a good place in Jannah for them to stay until we meet again. I thank you.
So how do we say? This is Elvis Ankara says you have to manage the prophecies. Everyone is worried about these prophecies, and the concern of many people is that people who deliver these prophecies always point to themselves as a solution. So Christians are saying that that's not what the Bible teaches. The Bible points to only one solution. The man who died on Calvary's cross is the only solution to the Bible. And so it's a red flag if you see any prophet pointing to himself as a solution. It says, Manka, last week, send me catch Remo. Then you hear the voice say, tell them. And then he says that, should I go further? Have you seen that? He said, the prophet holds the mic and says, can I go deeper? They say, go deeper. Can I go deeper? I said, go deeper. I said, okay. Then he goes deeper and then says, I told you this, I told you that, now this is going to happen. Tell this person to call me. If he doesn't call me, it's done. Some people worry about those expressions, that prophecies that seem to be pointing to the prophet, who is the messenger of God, is worrying, because they should be pointing you to El Shaddai, to Elohim, and to El Roy, rather than pointing to themselves. These debates are going to continue to happen all the time. But the way I settle it in my own mind is to just go back to the New Testament and the conversation the Sadducees had with the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and the important religious people in Israel back in the day. They sat in Galilee and they had a conversation with a legal luminary who is also a philosopher. They call him Gamaliel. And Gamaliel had taught everyone the Old Testament. That was the philosophy of the day. Gamaliel had taught everyone the word, and there was concern about the activities of some of the apostles, Peter, John, and co. And the Sadducees and the Pharisees were thinking about bringing them to the Sanhedrin for question. The Sanhedrin you can call the Supreme Court under a prosecution. So they were thinking about bringing them before the Sanhedrin to question them about the source of their worship and all that. And Gamaliel gave an admonition to the group that I think is useful today. He said to them, listen, we have been here and we have seen somebody come up. He said he's called Judas of Galilee. He said that he's the Messiah. People followed him. Nothing happened. We have been here since one came. Nothing happened. These people, the thing they are doing, if it's not of God, it will collapse. If it's of God, it will stand. So don't hurt them. Leave them. If it's not of God, we will see it. And he said also, however, if it is of God and you are not noticing and you are going against it, then you are fighting against God. So Gamaliel's advice 2,000 years ago to the Sanhedrin was, leave them. And I think it's captured in the book of Matthew. I'll get it for you. And that's what he said. He said, leave them. Leave them. And then let's see what happens. Because Judas of Galilee came up and now he's dead. Not physically dead, but his movement has died. So if these apostles are not of God, it will come. It will show. Don't worry about it. I guess that should be the attitude, because the plethora of prophecies you have, you cannot say all of them are wrong. You cannot say that. It's difficult to say, 100% they are all wrong. It's also difficult to say that they are all right. Some are wrong, some are right. And we are preparing to watch Sam Cranchankra now in ending this part of the conversation. Sam Cranchankra sort of gave a short interview to the media where he summarized the solution and on what has to be done. I don't know what people think about it, but this is what he said.
Fathers are all worried and disturbed about the trend of prophetism and the manner in which it is handled. It is divisive. It's confusing. It's creating a lot of problems for all of us. But regulation, we doubt if regulation can really bring sanity. We have our doubt about that. But we believe that we, the fathers and the church, if we sit down together, we will be able, by virtue of grace and wisdom, be able to sanitize the situation and the system. On this occasion, we are calling upon all brothers, sisters, all preachers, all apostles, prophets, pastors, evangelists, people who do the work of God. We want them to know that there is a biblical blueprint in the way and manner in which we do God's work. There is a biblical blueprint. There is corporate wisdom and knowledge in the way issues are handled. What is happening now is more of like I prophesied, it came to pass, so I am powerful. That showmanship is unbiblical.
That was the Reverend Sam Kranchi giving us some food for thought on this matter. Let's now go to the text messages, and then we have our big interview on clinical psychology and when these things happen. Okay, let me begin with Akesi. Do you want me to start with Akesi? Okay, correct.
Very much, Paul. Now we'll begin with a message from AJ Kufuor that says, "This is very sad. Ça c'est vraiment triste." Afterwards, we have a message from All Shall Pass, which says, "Good evening, Paul. Watching you live from the University of Education, Winneba. Bonsoir, Paul. Je vous regarde en direct de l'Université d'Éducation, Winneba." Ensuite, we have a message again from All Shall Pass that says, "Keep up the good work, Paul. Continue à faire du bon travail." Matthias Batong says, "Sad indeed. May God have mercy on their souls. Triste en effet que Dieu ait pitié de leurs âmes." Afterwards, we have a message from Sugri Jonas, which says, "We are in pain as a nation. May the good Lord comfort us and keep us safe. Nous nous souffrons en tant que nation. Que le bon Dieu nous réconforte et nous garde en sécurité." Over to you, Ansaba.
Thank you very much, Akesi. From Kwame Charles, he says, "Mr. Paul, we salute our great heroes for their sacrifices and their service to motherland Ghana. May they find peaceful rest in the bosom of the Almighty God until the last day of resurrection. We will all meet again. Amen." From Peter Osei, he says, "Paul, please stick to your convictions. I think they are seeking to find the DNA of the deceased. So why can't they wait for the outcome before burying them?" From Elf Waves, he says, "The Eastern Regional Chairman of the NDC was on Okosi saying today, and he vehemently refused to say they will not contest. He actually argued that the NPP is doing emotional blackmailing." From Ni Oko, he says, "Paul, showing their pictures is making the night emotional." From Daniel, he says, "It wasn't a good idea interviewing a spouse who is grieving, and that is very bad." From Yao February, he says, "The Ashanti Regional Minister did his best by rushing from the Sustainable Corporation mining launching at Obuasi to the crash scene to assist the rescue team after the helicopter crash to kill the 8 prominent Ghanaian servants. It was the military and the rescue team which did not do their best in handling the scene area and the remains. So Honorable Frank Amakuhene should stop the public commentary and let Ghanaians criticize those who would have been in charge." And lastly, from Alhaji Yusuf, he says, "Paul, the wives of the victims, parents and children need the clinical psychologist as well as those you mentioned. In Ghana, even the educated sometimes appear ignorant, and it is sad." Over to you, Paul.
You're done. Okay, I guess when we come back to you, you give us some French notes in there. Okay. I'm just reading some disturbing breaking news that's coming through. Apparently, Fanti Comedy is being arrested by the National Investigations Bureau. So the photograph you have on your TV screen now is Fanti Comedy with a colleague of his arrested by the National Investigations Bureau. Fanti Comedy is a staunch NPP social media activist and very close to Dr. Bawumia. They say a lawyer, Afoakwa, has been delegated by the General Secretary of the NPP to assist him. The reports are that Fanti Comedy, he's a comedian of sorts. He sort of does this comedy stuff on political issues on his, I believe, his TikTok page. And he had done something about the plane crash. I don't know whether it was a satire or it was a comedy or what happened, what really happened. I've not seen the video. But the information we are getting is that he's been arrested in connection with a video he put out on some commentary he ran on the air crash that has occurred devastatingly last Wednesday, and that is tearing the whole nation apart. We appeal to the human rights activists and the human rights people to go and understand why Fanti Comedy has been arrested for speaking, or arrested for saying, or arrested for showing. The plane crash had already happened in the circumstance, We're not sure what he said, but it looks like he's been arrested. With the lady in the video, apparently was also on in the video that Fanti Comedy put up. You know Fanti Comedy, the guy who keeps his hand on his ear when he's talking. He always speaks in tree, Asante tree. I don't know why they call him Fanti, but he always speaks in tree, and he's a kind of satirist, and he draws his conclusions in a certain way. It's really satire. But it's very pro NPP and if you like, right-wing politics. But now he's been arrested by the National Bureau of Investigation. So, human rights activists, this is what has happened. Fanti Comedy, the comedian, has been arrested by the NIB. There in the photograph. I'm not sure who got this photograph out. It looks like is it a Channel 1 photograph? No, it's a Daily View, a company called Daily View. They got the photograph. And I don't know where they are sitting. But that's what it is. We are getting updates. They are texting me the latest, and so if new information comes before the end of the program, I will deliver it as soon as we can. Okay, let's go for our editorial montage. This Fanti Comedy story is very sad. Let's go for our editorial montage and then do the editorial.
We now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom, toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors, toils of the brave which have brought results.
Our Good Evening Ghana opinion is that people who were clearly affected by the events, directly affected, should not be allowed to speak. We are hearing stories about somebody says, I should have been there and I sent him there, and it's maybe fate. If it is his turn, he would have died. Another person says, my pastor prayed for me, so I didn't go. Another person says, a church prayed, so somebody didn't go. We don't need all that right now. It's very terrible. But you can't also blame the people because they are under a certain situation that we cannot understand. They are under a certain situation that we cannot understand. How do we deal with these things from the research, clinical psychology viewpoint? How does the president get information about the fact that a member of his government has sadly passed? Who tells the president? Who should be told first? Should someone be told first before the president is told? Should the chief of staff have a role to play in it? Should the president's secretary have a role to play in it? When the president is told, how do they proceed with everything else? It looks like people are all relying on people who have the natural disposition to handle these things. Many people have praised the vice president and deputy chief of staff, Nana Elitha, in the way they've handled these things, but these are their personal dispositions that has brought this to bear. No human being can handle a matter like that easily on a normal day-to-day. You are president of the country. You send your minister, go here, he's gone. You keep working, you're in your office, and then they come to you, bam, this is what has happened. How is any president going to do that? The president is not a piece of iron. He's human. How many human beings can handle that? You tell your minister, chief, come. Can you represent me at this event? Okay, you go. This is a minister you are very close to. You bond with him. You bonded with him for 20 years. He's your personal friend. And he says, okay, Your Excellency, I'll go. Okay, so when you get there, let me know. Or when you finish the program, let me know. I'll be here. When you come back, let's deal with this other matter. What about the Canadians? Or what about the Australians? When you come back, let's deal with it. Okay, so thank you very much. See you. He's gone. Then you are in your office, and then they come and say, 1 hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours later, the guy you just spoke to, this is what has happened. How should the president be given that information? And after the president is given the information, as for the general public, the chief of staff gave quite a majestic announcement, which was okay for the general public. But beyond that, who should speak? Who should not speak? I think we have to manage these things much better. And 1 week down the line, we are still committing all kinds of mistakes. I've already said that Ashanti Regional Minister needs a clinical psychologist. He should not speak again. He should never have been allowed to speak about this. Never. Because he was personally affected. Samuel Abuaji is his darling boy, is part of his skin, is his man. He knew about it, he spoke to him probably that morning. And he's now on radio and talking and doing video. Oh my goodness, no. He shouldn't say anything. I'm happy that the Lance Minister Kofi Boah It's been very quiet because he was sitting with the regional minister when the news broke to the two of them. Not in the video that we saw, but certainly when the news broke, they were together. And he must have told you that, Charlie, our compatriots are falling. What do we do? He was in Kumasi. The president is in Accra. The other ministers are in Accra. Chief of staff is in Accra. Chiefs from everywhere in Ashanti region are calling him for the information. He was waiting for the event. The program has to close abruptly. He is in all sorts of places in his mind. Dr. Mwakuhini cannot speak. And this is where the nation fails. Immediately, clinical psychology should have gone to, if you have the protocol, clinical psychologist goes to the president, meets with cabinet, see those affected, plug them out, let psychologists work on them. In 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we'll be fine. We shouldn't do this. And the media should be arranged. Media, these are the questions you should ask. These are the projections you should make. These are the things that you can't make. You do a video, let's vet it. So you've done a video, the defense, you saw the defense press corps video, and they said they did it in conjunction with Ministry of Defense. So, and that's why it took long to come. The MOD vetted the video and said, okay, this can go. So we are Joy FM, we are Metro TV, we are City, we are Channel 1. We got this video of Mutala going somewhere or climbing the plane. What do we do? The psychologists look at it, the experts look at it, they vet it, okay, this video can go. We have to have a very structured way of dealing with these things as a nation, and it's very, very important. That's really what our editorial is about tonight, as we move straight into our conversation with Dr. Ophelia Azuri, who's a clinical psychologist. Let's take the editorial montage to close.
Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, land of freedom. Toils of the brave and the sweat of their labors. Toils of the brave which have brought results.
Thank you. Now time for the interview. It's 26 minutes to the top of the hour at 11 o'clock. We still have 2 stories to go after the interview. Dr. Ophelia Azuri, when human beings tragically lose a loved one in the circumstances we are describing, either a work colleague or family, are they still normal after that? Would you psychologists call them normal?
Okay, thank you very much for this invitation. I'm so glad to be here. And so for the viewers' discretion, we are so sorry for bringing up this matter again. It may cause some triggers or some trauma response, but we really need to deliberate on this and educate people and create awareness about how to disseminate information and how to cope with grief. So in psychology, the word normal is questionable, right? Because who determines normality? So we would normally use the word typical. In grieving, there are a number of emotional responses, and it is typical for people to grieve in a way, and people have all forms and ways that they grieve. However, some grief can be persistent, which we call the persistent grief disorder in the diagnostic statistical manual, which we call the DSM-5 manual, that has or comprises all the mental health illnesses or disorders and their diagnosis. And so there may be symptoms of persistent grief disorder that mimics as depression or post-traumatic stress disorders. And some of these symptoms could be, like I mentioned, depression, the inability to cope with work, or family, or friends, or even in their relationships.
Is that going to happen to everyone? So if somebody is told that this person has died, he breaks down,
yes.
And he's completely...
So people grieve differently, and so when people are grieving, we allow them to grieve the way they know best to grieve. And so people may, okay, so there is a cycle for grieving. People may start at the first stage, others may start at the bottom.
What are the various cycles?
So,
can you take us through it?
Yes, the various cycles, first of all, is denial, right?
Oh, the first thing is to say it's not true.
It's not true. Like, I just spoke to this person right now. how come you're telling me he or she is passed? And so some people would normally wait until burial to confirm.
All the way to burial?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I don't believe that.
To see the person.
In between that and the burial, what are they doing? Because they see people are crying,
Yes, they are analyzing the emotional reactions or responses to the message. Right, yes.
So there may be people in
anger.
government today
Yes.
who are in that denial stage.
Yes, they may be. They
Really?
may be, yes, yes. There's always the gray area for
In spite
people.
of everything that has happened.
Of course, of course.
Wow.
Of course,
What
yes.
do we do with those people? If they are very important people, they are minister for information, they are very important people and they are in the state. How do psychologists know that this person is in a state of denial?
So that is a symptom of grief disorder.
Okay.
Right. So when we ask the questions and you see these signs, the person will not like to eat or may overeat, may oversleep or undersleep, and also may just have a loss of life. Like they can't do without the person again, and they start questioning themselves, like, what is life about? What's the purpose? And there's a word called existential questions, like, so is this how I may also die? Have I done what God has brought me to do in this world? And is this what life is all about? So when we engage the person and we identify that this person is currently going through a depressing state or a denial stage, we normally just help them with some coping skills to bring down the emotional reactions to the sad news. So people in high profiles are also human beings and they have emotions. They may also, react negatively. If I say negatively, as in shock, in fear, in confusion about the news, and may become disoriented or disorganized in their ways. So when this is happening, we treat them like any other human being who needs our help.
So when you go to the person and ask a few questions, you'll be able to tell?
Yes, and the demeanor. Okay, so in psychology, we have the mood and affect, right? Someone, the mood could be how you are feeling, and then affect could be the response to that emotion or feeling. And so you may be talking to me, all right, but deep inside you, you are suffering, you are hurting. Okay, so your mood is you are in pain, but your affect is, oh, I'm a happy, bubbly person, because you're trying to cover up or mask the mood you're feeling. So a lot of times with that physical symptom, you can tell, because the person would be crying, the person would be saying all kinds of words, like negative words, and negative thought patterns may come up. However, with men are not very open with their emotions and their mood, right? And so with men, we would normally just help them to express and label their emotions. They would have to know that if you do not express it, the emotion may come back in a very scary way. There's a saying that grief has no calendar line or timing, right? It will only wait until you are ready to feel it, to receive it, to understand it. It is only when we understand the grief can we heal, right?
So when I'm interested in the men one. You say men may not express it.
Yes.
But if they don't express it now, they'll express it later.
They would express it
In what
later.
kind of form?
In various forms. An example could be, like I said, suicidal thoughts. Others could be having difficulty in their relationship, an outburst of anger, projections, difficulty forming new relationships, or even with work and with family and friends, isolation and loneliness. Some may also resort to drugs and alcohol. Like there are so many symptoms that suppressed grief or suppressed emotions from grief can mimic us. And so when you identify people like that, what you have to do is to constantly check on them, constantly make sure that you remind them and you help them to redesign their routine schedules and maybe take some leave off work to allow the grief, to express that emotional grief so that they can cope better.
Wow, that's very interesting. So should we have some protocols for how these things are announced from the top through the important people?
Yes, sure, we need to. And I'm so happy we are having this conversation tonight because I have always been an added advocate for psychologists for high-profile people. I've had communication or conversation with Honorable Inusa Fusheni from
Inusa Fusheni,
yes.
Former Minister for
Roads. And we always talk about the need, like we don't always have to try ad hoc measures. We need to always be active with all of this. And so for information dissemination, normally with bereaved families, am I right? With bereaved families or the high profile?
Yes.
Yes. So first of all, if like something like this that has happened, the bereaved families needed to be told first and privately. They didn't have to hear it on the social media or, through heresies, because some of these were not verified facts. People came out with all kinds of controversies and theories about what has happened and all of that. Secondly, there needed to be a clinical psychologist present when the news was, broken to them, because a clinical psychologist can de-escalate or decode and help them to receive the news better. Third, I would say that there should be the limitation of social media exposure, like supportive families or friends should help to restrain them from overly consuming social media, because they will end up seeing all kinds of stories and people posting all kinds of headlines about what has happened. And third, the intrusion of of media houses, like invading privacy, coming into their homes, interviewing them, making requests or asking questions about what has happened, how do you feel, you see, all of that becomes memory, right? When something happens, we have to do our best to manage it, to limit or reduce the trauma exposure. And so constantly creating scenes or scenarios or events or words or pictures, all of this sums up to create memories in the body. And over time, this becomes their post-traumatic stress disorders, because when they see certain picture or hear certain words or triggers or just any signage, it may cause some trauma response. And so we need to be very careful. We need to be compassionate. Even though we are mourning, it should be positive. It should be healthy. It should come with dignity and compassion. So whatever we do, we have to remember that they have families. Every headline you post on social media has a family behind it, children, spouse, and whatever that we post on the social media never dies. It's never erased. It's going to be there for thousands of years to come, right? And so we have to be very careful about what we put out there. I'm sorry to mention this, but the wannabe bloggers, right? And people have all kinds of flying opinions, and they want to share, right? People want to be known. People want to be seen for things that they do not really understand. And so they come up on social media and they say all kinds of things about the fallen soldiers or the bereaved. But we always have to remember and ask ourselves, if this was my family, would I share pictures like this? Would I write this long script explaining unverified facts? Will I have to tag and share and wanting my post to be known and
many
seen
people are
by
guilty of that. Many normal, regular people even very educated people are all guilty of that. Once this high-profile death happened, everyone on social media is showing, oh, he spoke to me yesterday. I knew him this. He said that to me. He said that to me. That's what you say we should desist?
I'm saying that it should be minimized. Like our words should be chosen with compassion. When people in high profile, I mean, we all know in Ghana, because of our culture, high profile people are everyone's relative, everyone's friend. They could be a mentor. I mean, because of their leadership skills, people love them, right? And so in whatever light we are sharing our story or our experiences with them, because of course we have had memories and experiences and stories with them, but it should be chosen with respect and in dignity. A lot of times we need to give it time because it is still fresh. The families are still bereaved and mourning, right? These families are trying to learn how to mourn them. They're trying to learn how to grieve them. In what way can I grieve them better? Because that's what we call grief on display. The families are trying to deal with the personal pain, at the same time deal with the public pressure. Like people would say a whole lot about maybe how a certain family is not grieving the person rightly, they should have done this, they should have done that. But all what I'm just trying to say is we should normally wait, right, for the family to come out with whatever they want to do, and you can share your story later, because you can't tell how your story may impact the immediate family or how your story may even affect their children years to come or months to come. And like I said, grieving can be prolonged, and your post can act as a trigger to the emotional or the traumatic response. And so all of that is something we want to prevent or reduce. So whatever you put out there, you should ask the question, am I doing my best for these families? Why don't I just let it simmer down a bit and then I share and I post? Months later, you can talk about it, because all of that are acts in respect of the bereaved.
Those, in this particular case, there were some government officials who were supposed to have been on the flight. Yeah. For some reason, they didn't go on the flight. What should be the psychological posturing for such people? Because they are shaking, they are trembling, and they are thinking that just with the flip of a text message, this could have been me. What should we do with them?
Is the shock, and then the personal reflection about life and death, heaven and hell.
So should psychologists protect them from speaking? Should they be speaking publicly? Because they are also public people.
Publicly, no. With very trusted friends and family. Because you need your private space to grieve. And like I said, they need a private space to express their emotions instead of suppressing it. And by speaking, you have to speak to trusted people, because there'll be so much scrutiny about a certain leader, how you were supposed to be and you were not. And people may even come up with all controversies here. And that's what we are trying to reduce. That even though those who survived, after some time, would not be traumatized based on the feedback from the public. And so they need a private psychologist, someone that will see them confidentially and help them to go through whatever they are going through. But for public, no, because it's not needed. You don't need that validation. Normally at this point, it's a personal reflection. Like, so I could have been the one, right? And so the existential questions comes in. So what have I done? Where am I in life right now? Okay, so the fact that I'm alive, what else can I do? What have I been inspired by? What have I been affected by? And there's also what we call the guilt trauma, yeah? The guilt trauma, as in it could have been me, but then somebody went in my place. So they may have very, they may experience this guilt trauma for the rest of their lives. But with the help of a psychologist, we can decode or de-escalate all this guilt to let them understand spirituality and psychology put together, you know. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay, latest coming to us from the Fanti comedy situation is that the police have issued a statement. So let's get it out now. Let's see what it is. It says that police investigates viral video on threats on the life of President H.E. the President. The Ghana Police Service has commenced investigation into a viral TikTok video in which an individual is heard threatening the lives of President of the Republic H.E. John Dramani Mahama and the First Lady. So far, 2 people, Prince Ofori and Yaya Abiu, are in police custody assisting the ongoing investigations while efforts are underway to get other persons believed to be connected to the video to assist the investigation. And they publish a photograph of Fanti Comedy. And Fanti Comedy, I believe his name is Prince Ofori. And Yaya Abiu, the lady that he was in the photograph with. Let me send this out so we can put on a touch screen for you to see. The police have responded, I believe, to the incessant calls from media about the arrest. And now they say that the arrest is because they were on a TikTok video where they had threatened these TikTokers had threatened the life of President John Dramani Mahama, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and First Lady Lordina Mahama. Maybe they will give us the video and we can see it, but apparently... so there's a video here that I'm watching that Fanti Comedy has been handcuffed. Let me send that across as well, and then we can share with you. Okay, let's go to the text messages and see what people are saying about what Dr. Azuri has told us. Text messages. Who should I start with, please? Okay, let me start with you, Anziba.
Thank you very much, Paul. Coming from Yao February, he says, people have different ways of responding to tragedy or the death of a loved one when communicated to them. At times, some may go into coma or die after hearing a traumatic report. So it is very important to educate people on how to channel such tragic stories of the helicopter crash that killed the AIDS gallant government servant to people close or immediate family members, not to cause any other trauma or cause them to live abnormally. Therefore, the way the clinical psychologist is articulating is very fundamental to calm such disheartening stories. Abdullah says, my father, who detests alcohol, ended up drinking a lot of alcohol after the death of his brother. Kwesi Tito says, the way Dr. Ophelia expresses herself feels like a form of healing. She knows her stuff. And then lastly from Prince, he says, Paul is on another level and the psychologist knows her work. Good job. Over to you, Casey.
Thank you very much, Anzaba. So we have a message here from George up here, which says, Paul, you are the best media journalist to listen to. Paul, vous êtes le meilleur journaliste à écouter. Also, we have a message from Prince Casimiro Opoku, which says, the psychologist knows her job, knows her work, good job. La psychologue connaît son travail, bon travail. Also, we have a message from George Awere in relation to Dr. Ophelia's insights, which says very helpful, très utile. Over to you, Paul.
Okay. Well, what's your final words, Doc? What will you tell us?
So for the high-profile people, I would say that grief is a sad event, and you may feel certain disorganized emotions and feelings. You don't have to define that, even though you feel it. Currently, you don't have to place judgment on that. You just have to feel it and then experience it. And I would like to recommend, or I would like to advocate the employment or the inclusion of clinical health psychologists for the president and his ministers or his staff. And for the bereaved, this is a sad event, And I know that no amount of words can heal this pain or the suffering you're going through. I just want you to know that with time, things will get better. You don't have to be harsh on yourself. You don't have to judge yourself. You don't have to be guilty of anything you have done in the past with the bereaved. I'm sorry, with the fallen
deceased
heroes.
Yeah.
I would like to say that you should use this pain to rather make peace. You should use this pain to rather search for healing for yourself, and know that that is how life may turn out to be. The disappointments, the unexpected events are all part of life. And so you should not lose yourself, but you should be strong, and that we are with you in prayers and in love. Yeah.
Another message says, Apostle Paul, I thought we were all mourning our compatriots. What crime has Fanti Comedy committed? Why are Mahama and his enablers behaving as though we are in Somalia or Uganda? This attempt to send us back to AFRC PNDC days must be resisted. It's from Samuel Brian Boabin in Awoshi. He's an MPP communicator, and there's quite a bit of concern about this arrest. We'll deal with it as the text messages come in. Thank you very much, Doc. We'll keep contact with you and come to you for advice when we need it. Okay, let's get back onto the show now. If you have the videos of Fanti Comedy, can you show it, please? Let people see it. I think he was walking. Is it ready? Is it ready, Terry? Oh, it's not ready. Okay, yeah. All right. So they are dealing with it. Now, let's get onto the touch screen and deal with two important political issues. We have 2 minutes on top of the hour 11. Give us up to about 11:07. We'll be done. These are issues of the law school matter. Let me go deal with it. When the Fanti Comedy video is ready, they will bring it out to us. This is the information we are getting from the General Legal Counsel. Sorry, my camera is adjusting its work. Okay, yeah. So I think it's well adjusted now. General Legal Counsel terminates appointment of Justice Yao Opon as Director of Ghana School of Law and Legal Education. That we done. Okay. Effective the 31st day of August 2025, the Director of Legal Education at the Ghana School of Law, His Lordship Justice Nana Berima Yao Kodie Opon, Justice of Appeal, shall cease to be the Director of Legal Education and the Director of the Ghana School of Law. The abrupt end to the 4-year term of the Director of the Law School, who is famed as an authority in land law and a long-serving lecturer of the law school and faculty and practical courses level, comes as a surprise to many a lecturer at the Ghana School of Law and stakeholders of the legal education. His farewell message to students from the Ghana School of Law, His Lordship, who in private life is the Mayura Hine of Achimabuakwa, expressed what can be described as his disappointment for the abrupt termination of his term in the following words. He said, quote, I had hoped to finish my full term or at least see through the current academic year and the forthcoming call to the bar ceremony for the final year students, but sadly, that was not to be. This is the distinguished Nana Kodie, Maria Hine of Achimabuakwa, who is also a Justice of the Court of Appeal and a Judge of the Court of Appeal, and indeed now no longer the Director of the Ghana School of Law. I guess there has to be more for information for people to get to grasp with this. He didn't end his term. The General Legal Counsel is ordinarily not a political organization. The General Legal Counsel is an organization provided for by law. It has institutional representations. The Ghana Bar Association is there. The Lord Chief Justice chairs it. Some Supreme Court judges are on. Nominees, I believe, from the legal associations. I think the government has 1 or 2 nominees, but that's the General Legal Counsel. And together, the president of the Ghana Bar Association is a member of the council. The dean of the Faculty of Law, University of Ghana, is a member of the council. So it's a legal council, and they have decided to terminate the appointment of the Director of Legal Education, who is himself also a lecturer at the school, and he's also a member of the council. We'd have to hear more about that to be able to draw conclusions as to this new development, latest breaking news coming in for the Law Society and those who are interested. We are hearing, though, that our good friend Martin Pegu is in pole position to be announced later this week to become the Director of the Ghana School of Law. That's what we are hearing, because it is now the mandate of the General Legal Council, following a nomination, I'm not sure who nominates, for the council to approve a new director. The Attorney General is also a member of the General Legal Council, I have to add. And we are hearing ourselves from the other side that Dr. Raymond Atuguba is also being considered. Already on social media, people are making choices and taking sides. I've just read a few messages to myself. I can't read them publicly because of the people who are sending it. And some are supporting Dr. Atuguba to be. Some said that Martin Pebu should be. And some said that Yaopon should be returned to the position. I believe that the former members of the council, the former Supreme Court judges, senior barristers are going to be very interested in this story, and from tomorrow they are all going to make inquiries to the General Legal Council to find out what happened to Nana Kodie, the Maria Hine, and what can be done about it, so that if they are worried about something, those somethings will be served. But I'd like to put the question to you viewers. There are two people who are being talked about for the job. My good friend Martin Pebu, who likes me very much, and me too, I like him. Martin Pebu is in pole position to become the director of the Ghana School of Law. He's qualified by the number of years he served at the bar. He's qualified to be a justice of the Court of Appeal. I believe that's 15 years at the bar under the Constitution. So Martin Pebu is being looked at, and also Professor Raymond Atuguba, who is the immediate past dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Ghana. Professor Atuguba is a thorough academic. He's been in it for a very long time. You remember him as the secretary for the Constitution Review Committee of Professor Mills. You remember him also as executive secretary to President John Dramani Mahama in the first presidency. That's the background with Atuguba comes. Martin Pebu, on the other hand, has been a fighter of human rights at the court. We all remember Martin Pebu, it was, who went to the Supreme Court to change the principle of 48 hours that did not count holidays. You know, the law says if you are arrested by an agency, they have to grant you bail or charge you within 48 hours. Sometimes they will arrest you on Friday and they say Saturday and Sunday doesn't count, so Monday, and then you are in for the weekend. Martin Pebu took an application to the Supreme Court, which was upheld by the court, that Saturday and Sunday ought to be counted among the number of days. That's the most significant thing he's done in terms of human rights work, and he does other legal practice. So that's Martin Pebu's background, and that's Raymond Atuguba's background. Both of them friendly to the National Democratic Congress, quite friendly. Of course, Atuguba was a former appointee of President Mahama as a secretary, so quite friendly to the Mahama administration and to the National Democratic Congress. From tomorrow, we'll see who becomes the new director of legal education. Who is your bet on? Should I tell you who my bet is on? We will live to say it another day. Has the new Patriotic Party issued a statement? Yes, on the by-elections. I'll come to that in a minute. Let's see the video of Fanti Comedy. Fanti Comedy going away. Fanti Comedy. Let's see the video. I think it's ready. Can we see it? Yeah, so that's the Fanti Comedy and the lady. This is Fanti Comedy. He seems to be in high spirit. Apparently, they had a TikTok session where it is reported that they had threatened President Mahama and the First Lady Lordina Mahama, and that's the reason why they have been invited by the police to answer questions on how they threatened the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces from their TikTok platform, threatening the Commander-in-Chief and the First Lady. They have had to answer questions. So I'm not sure how it's related to the plane crash. The original information was that they had done a video, a TikTok session on the plane crash, and had said certain things that were unpalatable, and that's the reason why they were being held. But news coming in now is that they had actually specifically said words that were threatening to the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, President John Dramani Mahama, and the First Lady Lordina, and that's the reason why they are being questioned. I'm wondering why they have handcuffs on their hand for speaking. That's quite worrying. I think it's okay for them to be questioned. Why did you say this? Why did you say that? You can't say this again. You can't broadcast like that. You can't talk about the president like that. You cannot talk about the First Lady. I think that's fine, and they can be cautioned. But to be kept and handcuffed, well, in the era of human rights, I'm sure that the human rights lawyers will have quite a lot to say about that. That's Fanti Comedy and the lady who have been arrested and handcuffed at the National Investigations Bureau. The New Patriotic Party has issued a statement in which on 11th August, where they say they will not take part in the Tamale Central parliamentary by-election. The New Patriotic Party has resolved that it will not take part in the Tamale Central parliamentary by-election to elect a replacement for the late Alhaji Dr. Honorable Mutala Mohammed, Member of Parliament for the constituency, who was among the 8 who lost their lives in the service of the Republic in the helicopter crash that occurred on Wednesday, 6th August 2025. The decision was taken by the party at the National Steering Committee meeting held on Monday, 11th August 2025 at the party headquarters pursuant to Article 10.10.1 of the party constitution. In arriving at a decision, the party considered many factors, including the circumstances under which the Tamale Central seat has become vacant and the possibility of a further polarization of the country at this critical time. The MPP is of the belief that it will be inhuman and unconscionable to subject the nation to a competitive process in search for a replacement for the departed MP. The party believes that the tension and acrimony often associated with the conduct of by-election in the country should be avoided. It is the considered view of the party that the greatest tribute that the MPP and the rest of the nation can pay in honor of the departed is not only to win the fight against Galamsey, but also to ensure a smooth and peaceful replacement for the good people of Tamale Central. Consequently, the New Patriotic Party hereby announces that when the Electoral Commission of Ghana opens nominations for Tamale Central by-election in line with Article 1125 of Ghana's Constitution, the party will, in accord with the national interest, not take part in the contest. The statement is signed by Justin Kodua Frimpong, who is the General Secretary of the party. We thought we could have enough time to open phone lines and have a conversation about that, but it looks unfortunate that we can't. Our time is up. Let's take a last set of text messages from our social media editors, and then we'll be leaving it here. Our social media page will still be up with the news about the law school Director General changes, and so you can contribute on that because we're going to put our videos up there so people can express their opinion about what has happened as we wait for more information. Let me begin the text messaging. Did he indicate that I begin with Akesi? Yes. Okay, Akesi, you first, please.
Thank you very much, Paul. Now, our first message is from Yao Fabiri, and he says, we thank the clinical psychologist for the education for this evening. Nous vous remercions la psychologue clinicienne pour l'éducation cette soirée. And we have also another message from Shifman Osei, who says, thank you, Paul, for bringing this doctor today. At least she has really educated some of us, and I am blessed. Merci, Paul, d'avoir amené cette médecin. Au moins, elle a vraiment éduqué certains d'entre nous, et je suis bénie. Over to you, Anzaba.
Okay, thank you, Casey. Coming from Abdullah, he says, we cannot develop Ghana with prophecies. We can only develop Ghana with good policies, good and prudent leadership, supported by modern scientific innovation, critical thinking, and research. From Master Planner Jr., he says, so the police CID couldn't invite or investigate anyone after the IGP's car was shot in Boko. Till date, no arrest has been made and no investigation is going on. You are busily chasing a young content creator that is fancy comedy. His name even says it all. The IGP and his people should get serious. And lastly, from Prince, he says, super opinion from Paul. Thank you very much. That'll be it.
Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo comes to us to say that, so the police CID could not investigate anyone after the IGP's car was shot in Boku. Till date, no arrest has been made and no investigation is ongoing. But they are busy chasing Fancy Comedy, a content creator. His name even says it all. The IGP and his people should get serious, says Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo in a text message to us. Another text message says that, I support Dr. Atuguba to become the next Dean, Director of Legal Education. As former Dean and a thorough academic, as you said, he is better prepared. Okay, another one says, I support Martin Pebu because oral must get into the Ghana School of Law and the entire legal education. Martin Pebu all the way, he says. This other one says that former Supreme Court judges must meet with the General Legal Counsel and tell us what has happened. Why are they terminating an appointment? Has there been wrongdoing? Has there been wrongdoing that can be put to character? If it is so, why do you keep the man as a member of the Court of Appeal? If he's not fit to be Director of Legal Education, surely he should not be fit to continue on the Court of Appeal. That's from Eli Plim, who is writing to us from Accra. Okay. It's 11 minutes past the top of the hour, 11 o'clock. It's always a pleasure to come to you. These days, it's not that a pleasure until we settle down with our thoughts, and everything that has happened on 6th August is still fresh on our minds. Government statement says that there's been meeting between the president and the families, and the funeral will be announced soon. It is such a major tragedy. Thanks for watching Good Evening Ghana's edition for tonight. Good night.